Hey guys, this is my first video in my new video series called Scandinavian Memorable Games. I'll probably find a more creative title later on, but here we go. E4, D5, shut up Team Scandi, John Bartholomew. Of course, we take. Queen takes D5, Knight C3, getting a tempo on the queen. There are a few ways to play it. You can check out John's chessable course for Queen D8, which is the most solid and the easiest way to learn the Scandinavian. Then there's Queen D6, which is what Tivyakov plays, and it's like an in-between between the Queen A5 and Queen D8 Scandi. It's more solid than Queen A5, but also keeps the queen on a reasonable square where it has some activity. And then there's Queen A5, the most provocative and maybe the most theoretical of the Scandinavians. So here we go, Knight F3 just developing. We will develop our Knight to F6 usually in the Scandinavian. It's like a universal move if you have no clue what you're doing. This move is always going to be played. D4 takes his stake in the center. Now we play Bishop F5. Attacking the C2 pawn, which is irrelevant for now, but maybe some variations we can take. And then we're aiming to close up the bishop with E6. So you want to bring the bishop out. And Bishop G4 is another way to play, but I think it's borderline dubious because of this line. Maybe he has Knight E5. Just gets very dangerous for the Scandinavian player, and then maybe even H4 is gonna come in. I think that's what Hari Krishna recommends in his. Oh no, not Hari Krishna. Sefu Raman recommends in his chessable course, and it almost refutes the whole line. But anyways, I play Bishop F5. It's the most principal move. Plays Bishop G3. It's not the most ambitious way to play, but it's not losing. It's just asking for a boring game. I play E6. CFL's course recommends Bishop takes G3, which is also good, but I'd rather just play E6 and defend the bishop twice, so he doesn't have any B4 tactics. And it opens up this bishop's diagonal, getting ready to castle. And he takes. This is probably a slight inaccuracy. The game's just completely equal now, because the bishop took 2 moves to capture on F5. So now he castles and Knight C6. So we're intending to castle long, and putting more pressure on the D4 pawns. So far we only have 1, but after we castle, we'll have another one on D4. Bishop E3, defending D4 pawn. And I was thinking Knight G4 could be annoying, but probably should get the king to safety first, so we just castle. He plays Queen E2, and I'm not the biggest fan of this move because it takes away the E2 square from the knight, and the problem with this is if the knight can't go to E2, then you won't be able to play C3. You don't want to play Knight D1, you would just disconnect the rooks again, and the knight doesn't really have a future over there. So that I think is an inaccuracy. And here I just go for the throat. I like to play this move a lot. G5 is probably my favorite move in the game. So G5, what it does is it threatens G4 and forces him to take. So he takes with the knight. And now I play Rook to G8. Yeah, Rook to G8. Getting some lasting initiative down the king's side. This is the point of sacrificing the G pawn to open up lines. So now it looks like we're hanging this pawn, and he's getting a tempo on the rook, but this fails to a key move. Queen to G6, threatening mate. and attacking the knight. And then this loses for white because after knight g5 we just play h6 and we win the piece. So we can't do this. So the guy plays f4, which is not the best move, but I think this is the best move, and this is the one I had a hard time trying to calculate through when I was playing the game. But my plan was to play queen h3, opening up his king, getting control of the light square since he has no light square bishop. These squares are going to be permanently weak, and then knight g4 followed by bishop g7, trying to attack this this d4 pawn, trying to win her back. So that's what he should have played. Anyways, f4. This is a mistake. It also dulls the bishop. The squares around the king are a little bit weaker, especially this this diagonal, which will come into use later on. So we grab our pawn back, and we still can maintain the initiative. And now we're threatening f4 pawn. So he plays queen e5, which is the last fatal mistake. Now I play this move. Well, I'll give you guys a few seconds to go about this. And the move is rook takes g5, defending the queen, and the pawn cannot capture the rook because he simply loses to the queen. And what happens if he captures the rook? Well, now the bishop pins the queen to the king, and this is just completely winning. So that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching.